Hey guys, I'm back from vacation. I had fun in the sun, lots to eat, lots to drink. I don't know, maybe I overdid it. What do you think? Okay guys, I was just messing with you. That clip is actually from a couple years ago, but I thought I'd revive it because I did just get back from vacation. Actually, I was vacationing in Africa, and hopefully I'll be able to send you a few clips from my trip. But that's not why we're here today. We're here to talk about some guns, actually a rare variation. Now, one of the things that I like about collecting Walthers is there's so many variations. You have your police guns, the military guns, commercial guns, SS, presentation, engraved. There's just so many to collect. Today's variation is very rare. It's the PDM marked PP and PPK. PDM stands for Police Department of Munich. And in 1934, they were ordered, probably delivered in early 35. They ordered about 1,800 PPs, so that's really rare variation, meaning out of the about 500,000 they made before up until 1945. Out of about 500,000 made, 1,800 of them went to the Police Department of Munich, and only 450 PPKs were ordered for the police department. Let's come take a closer look because I have a PP. Actually, both of these are out of my personal collection. Wanted to share them with you. Broke out some really rare guns. I have a new in the box PDM PP, and then I'll show you this PPK in contrast. Come take a closer look. Okay, first I want to talk about the box itself. This is the PDM PP. And this is numbered to the gun, but I'm going to show you the progression of the boxes. I've talked about these before, but this is another good chance to just show you the progression of the boxes. This is a bow tie box, a very early variation, and it actually has an early manual. You'll see this is the early variation of the manual. This is came later, a later version of the manual, and this is a lot more common. So this is a rare early variation of manual. And it's called the bow tie label. You can't tell here, but this is what it would look like if it was in better condition. This is the bow tie label. And you'll notice this is done in ink. This is done in ink, meaning the serial number is written in ink. So it's really hard to change that out. It'd be really hard to change that out, and it would probably hurt the paper. So you don't see these renumbered very much. But sometimes they were written in pencil. This one was written in pencil, and it's kind of worn off or been erased. So these ones could actually, you could erase it and put in a new number. You can tell by the numbering that this is a Germanic look. You can see it a little better here. Certainly the fives, the fours are different. Also the 9 and the 5 has the little curly cues. Of course, a good calligrapher could fake that. And these are the early boxes, bow tie to oval. The most common box, however, by far, which you see mostly of box PPs and PPKs, is this style of box, the green label, and then it's printed. These usually bring a little more of a premium, meaning if you have the box number to the gun, because this is printed, it's very distinct. It is able to be replicated. I've actually shown you ones that were replicated, but I can spot them right away, whereas the handwritten ones, I think it would be a talented person could pretty easily replicate the numbering, but here, this is more common. This indicates it came with a signal indicator pin. And then the final has the green label. This is pretty faded. It is printed on here, but this goes all the way up to 1945. Actually, this is 44, but it's just a plain vanilla, a plain manila looking box. You can see it's pretty plain inside, and it's a lot more flimsy. It also has a later variation of tin. This is a late manual, and again, it's just a matter of saving paper, but this is just a flimsy late one. The early tin had the factory, and this just has the Walther banner. So you see a lot more of these. If we look inside, this has what I call the milk can, for obvious reasons. Has the milk can, that's a little more rare, and that's also early. Then later they just went to a glass jar that looks something like that. We often find it with the original oil still in it. Okay, so I did the boxes. Let's take a deeper dive at the gun and see if I can educate you a little bit more. This is the cleaning rod, We'll set that aside. I mentioned this is the early style manual. Again, you hardly ever see them. You're going to see these, and these are easy to date because on the back, you can see here the month and the year, 1037. So this is made in 1937 in the month of October. And this does not have a date, so it's a little bit harder, but I just know from collecting these, one way you can tell, however, is it's got a 90-degree safety, and it's got the fat safety lever, 90-degree safety. So a 90-degree safety, as you see here, 90-degree safety is the early variation of gun, and that is the one that is pictured here. This has a pink interior, and they remained with this is a faded pink, but this pink interior later became a yellow interior, and it looks like this. There's the pink, there's the later yellow. This had a separator in it at one point, but that came out. It's just glued in there. You can see where it was glued in there, and that's you can see how much that's brighter, and that one still has the separator. So this one's faded, was used a little bit, probably was in a desk drawer for a lot of years because it was issued to the police department. Here's the symbol for the PDM, Police Department of Munich. It also has a 3-digit number underneath it, and that would correspond with the last 3 digits of the serial number. So here's the serial number. They're almost always 811, and again, only 1,800 of them made. These are almost always 899. Last 3 digits, 480, is also found right here, PDM 480. So you can see this was a special order. They asked, this was factory marked with the last 3 digits, the PDM, but it also has a few other features that you don't find on any other gun. Here's one of them. It has a fluted barrel. We're going to take a look at both of these. You can see the fluted barrel. I'm told that was added, a special order. The urban legend is these were ordered, personally ordered by Himmler. That's a nice lure, and maybe it's true, but probably somebody underneath him ordered these special and asked for a couple of changes in the design. One of them is the fluted barrel. So you do see that on both the PP and the PPK. It does mean then the hole here is more like a 9mm because it's fluted. If you tried to swap the slide, let's say you had a slide that was better condition and you think, well, the slide's not numbered, why don't I swap them? First of all, it's numbered inside, and second of all, it won't fit. A standard slide will not fit. Here's another glaring special order about this. It does not have a mag release button. Here's a more standard looking PPK. We have the button here, you push it, and it pops right open. These are a special order. We have the fluted barrel. We have no button for the mag release. So how do you take the magazine out? Well, it's got the bottom release magazine. Now the bottom release magazine typically only found on a 9mm PP or PPK. No other PP or PPK will have the bottom release except for the PDM. So it's a rare variation. Again, 9mm has it because if you drill a hole in here, on the 9mm, it has a little bit more kick, a little more powder, and so therefore it was thought that perhaps drilling into the frame would weaken it, and they had some indications that it did weaken it. So for the 9mm, they did not do the button, but instead did the bottom release. The bottom release button, it also requires that the grip have a cutout. If you look at this grip, there's no cutout. This has the cutout. So it also has to have a special grip. Sometimes people will say, hey, I've got this PDM, got a big crack in it, can you give me a replacement grip? Well, the standard grip won't work. It has to be cut out, push that back, this pops out. Another thing it's missing, the magazine has no notch for the button. Here's the button. The way it stays in there is that little notch. That's what clicks when you put it in. Clicks into that notch. That's what releases it. Makes a lot of sense now, doesn't it? Well, with the 9mm, if you look at a 9mm magazine with the bottom release, it doesn't have a notch. A PDM magazine, very rare to find. People sometimes will have the gun, have the wrong magazine. By the way, the button mag will work. it fits. Button mag works, but there's no button. So the only way to release it is to push this back and release it this way. I find this to be clumsy at best. It's clumsy at best, difficult at worst. Sometimes it's just really hard to get that button. This doesn't have a cutout because it's a two-piece grip. You can see here, it's a two-piece grip. This is a one-piece grip. Has a cutout. On this one, you just push this back and release it this way. And again, no notch. So this is a correct PDM magazine. So the magazine is special. The magazine release is special. The barrel is special. It does have a 90-degree safety, 90-degree safety. And then one other feature that is only found, one major feature that is only found on the PPK is it comes with an aluminum frame. So this frame is aluminum. I'll take this apart. Look inside. By the way, the numbers, the last three digits will be inscribed in here. It's really hard to show. You usually have to get a bright light, shine it in there, and it is hand scratched, so it's hard to see. You can see here, this is an aluminum frame. It's not blued, but it's anodized paint. So basically, it's a process they use actually with aircraft and things when they're trying to paint aluminum. It's anodized painted black, and you can see right here there's a line where the frame and the barrel meet, and the barrel is steel. Most of the parts are steel, but this frame is aluminum. You can feel it right away. It's very, very light. And so for whatever reason, even though he was worried, whoever ordered it, he was worried about the frame being weakened by drilling a hole, then they went and did the Dural aluminum, and you would think, well, that weakens it as well. True. So why did they order it in aluminum? The theory that these went to plainclothesmen, Gestapo, security forces that carried their gun in a shoulder holster inside a suit coat. So this made it significantly lighter and has an advantage over the PP, which is much heavier, a little more bulky, and this would go on the side of a belt as opposed to inside a coat pocket. Now, just one other minor difference about the PDMs. I can't think of any other police gun that was issued with a finger extension. The police magazines are I'm going to say always flat bottom, but the PDM variation actually was issued with 2 finger extension magazines. And therefore, it comes with a specially made holster. Usually they're dated 1935. Here's a picture of the holster, a PDM holster. They are very rare to find, actually rarer than the gun itself. So the magazine pouch found on the front, there's actually a little flap that covers the spare magazine. And so again, this just a bit of trivia. These were issued with 2 finger extension magazines. Both the PP and the PPK would come with 2, not 1, but 2 finger extension magazines. Also, I believe that the PPK was fitted with a PP holster because I've never seen a PPK holster that was specially made for the Police Department of Munich. Now, it could have gone in any police holster, and I've advised people who have these, and again, very rare to find, only 450 made, very rare to find. If you have one, what kind of holster? I'd say any police-marked holster for a PPK would be fine, but I know for the PP, and maybe also for the PPK, there was a special holster that looked like this, had a little extra flap that I've not seen with any other holster, and that was for the finger extension magazine. Okay, I hope you enjoyed taking a little glimpse inside my safe and finding a variation rarely seen. And in fact, I would add to this, while this is not a great label, this is I've only one of 2 I've ever seen that are still in the original box. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned because I probably have some fun videos from Africa to show you.